are also strategic earners, and they protect their sleep like it is strategic investment. I know the culture says that you sleep less and glide more, but the opposite is true. That if you glide more and you sleep less, then your life is going to get into trouble. Sleep deprivation cuts on your ability to learn new things by up to 40%. This worries me, especially when you look at learners and you realize that they spend most of their time at night struggling to study, when the easiest thing for them should be to sleep. Because if you don't sleep, you elevate your cortisol, the stress hormone, which drives up your blood pressure. It disrupts your blood sugar and it impairs your prefrontal cortex performance. Remember what we have said before about your prefrontal cortex. So you become more reactive, you become less creative, you are less able to evaluate risk accurately. Thomas Tannery, millionaires research, found that most of the high performers, they sleep an average of 7.5 hours per night, not not less than 4 hours, not 5 hours, 7.5. So the habit: protect 7 to 8 hours of sleep as a business decision. A sleep deprived you makes worse investments, worse hires, and worse decisions that is dangerous to your wealth and to your health. Invest in your sleep strategically. Then the next habit, you need to feed your mind continuously. Warren Buffett reads 500 pages a day. Bill Gates reads about 50 books a year. Mark Cuban spends hours reading every morning. This is not accidental. Healthy earners treat their minds as an asset and with the highest return on investment from growing their knowledge. Every hour spent acquiring high quality knowledge, then you are building your wealth. Read biographies of builders, research on your field, and this compounds like financial investment. In the contrast, remember that if you don't read, if you do not study, as time moves, if you graduated with a particular degree in a particular area and you don't study, 2 years down the line, the knowledge that you had will be obsolete. So you are worse off. You are deteriorating and you are becoming irrelevant. So please spend time building your skills, building your energy, because your life depends on this. And this is how you build yourself. Average adults spend nearly 7 hours on their daily time on screens, mostly passive consumption of content designed to capture their attention and not build your capacity. Remember, if you have listened and seen some of my posters on learning how to learn, passive learning does not help you in anything. If anything, 15 to 30 seconds of watching what you are scrolling on, you have forgotten everything. Material only becomes part of you when you engage with it actively. The habit that you need to cultivate, 30 minutes of intentional reading or running on a daily basis. Not scrolling, not news loops, directful, purposeful input. Research, long-form content that builds your thinking. That will make you exceptional. Invest in it. The other, a high output habit, you eat for performance, not just for pressure. What you eat is not a lifestyle choice. It is a cognitive strategy. The brain consumes approximately 20% of your body's energy, despite only being 2% of your body weight. What you fuel it directly determines the quality of your thinking, memory, and even decision-making capacity, and your capacity to produce. Ultra-processed foods drive neuroinflammation, they destabilize your blood sugar, and they create the energy that crashes, and this kills your afternoon productivity. A high-fat, high-sugar, low-nutrient diet is not just bad for your waistline. It is bad for your brain and it is bad for your productivity. Healthy earners are not on extreme diet, but they eat with intention. You do not eat to fill your tummy and then in the afternoon you are sleepy and you don't have energy to do the work that you need to do. So eat foods that reduce inflammation. Do not eat lunch that will make you not to have productive afternoons. So the habit, intentional nutrition to keep your brain active and nourished. Replace the ultra-processed foods with the good food, whole food alternatives and start there. It will help you build your wealth. The healthy number 6 that healthy earners have, they manage stress before it manages them. Chronic stress is the silent tax for performance. Elevated cortisol over time increases your blood pressure, it impairs your memory consolidation, it disrupts sleep, and it damages every cognitive architecture your income depends on. The Urban Institute of Research found that income and health is blunt. The stress of financial adversity creates allostatic load, cumulative biological wear and tear, and that accelerates disease and also shortens careers. Healthy earners do not have stress-free lives, but they have stress management systems. So have you built your stress management systems? So how do you do that? You discharge physiological stress before it accumulates. Breath work, journaling, prayer, exercise, time in nature, and schedule the rest. This is your food for rebuilding your mental agility. So healthy earners have a daily 10-minute stress discharge system. Identify yours. Build it into your day like a meeting you cannot cancel because your body is already scheduling it for you. Whether you operate or not is your choice. Your body needs it. Habit number 7, healthy earners build relationships of their social capital. Healthy earners are not isolated achievers. They invest in relationships with the same intentionality they apply to investment habits. So, the evidence from Harvard 80-year study on adult development found that the longest study of human happiness is unequivocal. The quality of your relationship is the single greatest predictor of health and well-being in later life. Not wealth, not fame, not achievement, not the relationships. So, from the income perspective, your network is your net worth. The opportunities, the information, the partnerships, and the referrals that move the careers and businesses forward flow from people who you trust your life with and whom you work with. So the habit, invest me in meaningful relationships this week, not a transaction, not networking, a genuine human connection. It will give you health, it will give you wealth. And then habit number 8, they review and recalibrate daily. This habit makes all the others sustainable. A structured daily review. You do not live on autopilot. Research from the Dominican University has shown that people who write down their goals and review them daily are 42% more likely to achieve them. Not because writing is magic, because reviewing creates accountability, adjusts course, and keeps long-term gain visible when the short-term gain is loud. Healthy earners close every day with 3 questions. What did I build today? What did I neglect? What does tomorrow demand of me? The healthy habit, a 10-minute end of the day review. What you measure, what you manage, what you review, you improve. So, these do not work in isolation. I want to be very direct with you that the habits that you build these will be what will build your health and build your wealth. So, what changes a life is not a habit, it is a system. It is the decision to treat your body, your health, your sleep, your nutrition, your stress levels as the foundation of your financial performance rather than an afterthought to it. I see this bifurcation in my clinic every single week. Two people, same age, same educational background. One is building, the other is managing crisis. Health crisis, focus crisis, energy crisis. The difference is not talent. It is the daily decision that they make on a daily basis. Your habits are your medicine, and your discipline is your most valuable asset. The healthy earner is not the type of a person, it is a practice. It is available to you right now with the body you have, the income you have, and the time you have. But it requires a decision, not motivation, not a perfect morning, a decision that you can make now. So, if this video has shifted something and you recognize the gap between your health and where your ambition required to be, then I want to invite you to take specific steps. The Health Inside 360 is a structured program that runs for 12 weeks, and it is for high-functioning adults who are serious about building a body that matches their needs. We cover all the 8 habits in this video, not the theory, but make it possible for you to incorporate them into your life and make it sustainable lifelong. There are 2 ways to begin. You can go the self-directed track or the fully coached track. The link, if you want, DM me and it will be in it. The most expensive asset that you ever own is a sick and a fueled, exhausted version of you. The most valuable investment you will ever make is the version of you that is strong, clear, rested, and ready. Build that version starting today. I'm Dr. Joshua Nderitu. This is Health Insight. This is your habit, your medicine. Thank you. The habit of healthy earners, the hidden connection between your body and your bank account. Let me ask you something that is very uncomfortable. You are working hard than you have ever worked. You are putting in the hours. You are making the sacrifices. You are pushing through the exhaustion. And yet, the money is not compounding. The energy is not there. The focus is slipping. And somewhere in the back of your mind, you are wondering, is this all that there is to life? I want to offer you a diagnosis, not of your business, not of your finances, but of your biology. As I work in my clinic and as I learn the Health Insight 360 program, the ground up, I have noticed that the financial gurus, they have some truth that they never tell you. And the truth is, your wellness is what influences your finances. And also, your finances influence your wellness. The people who earn the most are not the most talented, but they are the most consistent. And this is the habit that also makes them healthier. And the most consistent people are the healthiest. Why is it like this? Today, I share with you what evidence shows, and we are going to share with you some habits that link physical health to financial performance. And I will share with you some framework that you can use and start improving your health and also improve your finances. These are the habits of healthy earners. And let's dive in. So, what does all this mean? Why is your body your business infrastructure? Sounds awkward. Let's look at a study that shocked me and surprised me. In 2011, researchers at Duke University found that 1,000 children who are followed up from birth to the age of 32 are one of the longest studies of this kind. They measured one thing, the self-control of these children, the ability to delay gratification, manage impulses, and also stay focused on a goal. What did they find? 32 years later, the children with the highest self-control had on average better health, higher incomes, fewer legal problems, and better relationships than those with lower self-control. The exact same psychological muscle that predicted health also predicted the wealth capacity. Now, let's look at it critically. So, you are wondering, is this not about personality? Or could it be the genetics? The truth is this, it is not. What matters is the consistency. And the good news is that self-control is a trainable skill. It is built through daily practice, through habits that compound, and they do this over time. So the habits that build better physical health are the same habits that build financial discipline. They share the same neural infrastructure. And that's why you see people who are wealthy, they are likely to be more healthy, not because of their financial capacity, but because of their habits. Remember, habits compound. If you have good habits in one area of your life, you are likely to transfer the same habits to another area of your life. This is not magic. It is just neuroscience. So I will give you more evidence about this so that you realize that you can also change. So there's a study that was published in the Journal of Labor Research, and it found that people who exercise regularly, they earn on average 9% more than their sedentary peers. Not because they look better in meeting, but because physical fitness reinforces the same qualities that drive career performance. What does this mean? If you are physically fit, then it means you are a person who perseveres through the exercise process. You have delayed gratification. What does this mean to your health? You are not likely to be the person who will go snacking everywhere. You have also the ability to sustain consistency of your habits, keep hard habits, and persevere, and you'll be consistent in what you are doing. And this is where the tire meets the road. A study done by Mass Mutual Health and Wealth Habits report in 2025 studied 1,000 American adults, and they found that people with strong financial habits were significantly more likely to report better physical and mental health. The researcher concluded when individuals build consistent habits, they have also access to the right tools and to maintain their health, and they are more confident, more resilient, and more optimistic about living longer, and so they also enjoy healthier lives. Because again, the same principles, being more optimistic makes you have a positive outlook at life. Have an optimistic look on life, you are likely to be more healthy. You are likely to practice more healthy behaviors. So this is not coincidence. It's the power of habit. So healthy habits for health and wealth are not parallel tracks. They are the same tracks. Now, so which are these habits that sustain wealth and also make you healthier? So the habits that separate the healthy earners from everyone else. The first habits. These people who are wealthy, they are likely to guard their money like an asset. What does this mean? The healthy earners do not stumble into their days. They design their day. So research from the Journal of Applied Psychology shows that proactive morning routines Routines that begin with external demands alive and they enhance focus and they reduce stress across the entire day. Tim Cook, one of the renowned entrepreneurs, is at his desk by 4:45 a.m. And Richard Branson rises at 5 a.m. Oprah Winfrey is awake by 6 a.m. The specifics differ. The principle does not. The morning is protected time for self-directed thinking and not reactive work. But here is what they do not tell you. It is not about the 5 a.m. wake up. It is about who owns the first hour of your day. Do you start your day with scrolling? Do you start your day with answering to mails? If your first act is opening your phone and open on people's messages, you have already handed over your most focused time, that cognitive window, to someone else's agenda. And that habit of the first 60 minutes, which do belong to you, should be guarded as much as possible. Movement, intentional setting, silence, or deep work, but nothing reactive. That is what will make a difference in your health and in your wealth. So protect your mornings like your life depends on them, because it does. The habit number 2 that healthy earners have is movement. They move their bodies on purpose. What does this have to do with your health? You know, one of the critical things about your health is movement. This is not about aesthetics. It is pharmacology. Exercise derives brain-derived neurotrophic factor, sometimes called the miracle for the brain. It increases your blood flow to the prefrontal cortex. This governs decision making, planning, and even impulse control. The same cognitive faculties that are required for financial discipline. Thomas Stanley Research in the Millionaires Next Door found that self-made millionaires exercise on average 3 to 3.5 hours per week. They rise early, most by 6 a.m. They prioritize physical activity and not vanity. And this is performance maintenance. And the studies which have been shown on learning and memory, if you exercise, you are likely to absorb more of the material that you are learning. So if you want to learn hard material, exercise fast. You are likely to improve your retention of what you have learned, and you are more likely also to use what you have learned. So if you want to learn a particular skill, then exercise. If you have more skill, then you are likely to make more money, you are likely to be more wealthier, and also more healthier. So a body that is well maintained will likely not influence you for negligence in healthcare cost or in lost productivity. In the slow erosion of mental sharpness, if you do not keep fit, then you lose in income, because your health depends on your physical fitness and your physical health. So the habit, 30 minutes of purposive movement, at least 5 days in a week, make it non-negotiable. Have your calendar blocked for that. This is not optional. It is your wealth.